We're rolling into the 2020 session, and it's going to be the biggest fight of basically our political lives. 2019 was bad. 2020 is going to be bad. We have a tremendous amount of work to do to protect our Second Amendment rights here in Minnesota. And there are some people who are just bound and determined to protect politicians and their own pocketbooks more than anyone or anything else. And the deck is stacked against gun owners in Minnesota already. We already have enough forces. We have Bloomberg's people. We have all of these people pouring money into Minnesota, doing their best to crush our Second Amendment freedoms. And tonight we're going to talk about, those who pretend to be for gun owners, those who claim to be pro-gun, who really are not. And they're really con artists of the highest order. Now, my name is Ben Dorr. I'm the executive director for Minnesota Gun Rights. And I know, politicians, they say all kinds of things about Minnesota gun rights. Everybody has their opinions about our beautiful membership, about those who fight with us. Everybody has opinions about us. Very few of the haters and the liars have any proof. They don't have any facts. They don't have anything that supports their claim. Well, here at Minnesota Gun Rights, we only deal in facts. We only deal in facts. We lay out what we can prove, what we know, and let you make up your minds. So, again, session's kicking off here soon. And already the attacks are coming from the left and from the right. Already politicians are lining up to attack Minnesota gun rights, and they're calling us liars, they're calling us scammers, they're calling us a sham. They're doing what the establishment politicians do, but you ever notice they never provide any facts of anything? They never put anything in your hands and say, see, here's the proof. Here's the proof. Well, tonight we're going to talk about some proof about another organization that we have exposed many times with complete facts, total facts. Everything that we're going to talk about here in about 30 seconds, everything that we talk about here, you can Google all of this. All of these, all the campaign finance and public disclosure statements that we're looking at here, every single one of these is online. And any one of you, anybody who has any interest whatsoever, can look it up anytime you please and see that every word I'm about to say is 100% truth. 100% truth. Guys, thank you for joining me, by the way. Let me know where you're watching from. I'm seeing hundreds and hundreds of people hopping on here right now. And now we're going to talk about this. So we're rolling into session to stop red flag gun seizures and universal gun registration. And in politics, there are organizations whose sole purpose is to protect the establishment, right? Their job is not to protect freedom. It's not to protect the Second Amendment. It's not to do any of those things. Their entire purpose is to be a tool of the establishment, whether it's the Republicans or the Democrats. It's their job to be a tool of the establishment in order to protect the lawmakers who are in power, right? That's not Minnesota gun rights. And that is why the politicians, they just hate us so damn bad for it. They just hate us. They can't even breathe when we walk into the room, when we walk into the Capitol building. They hate us so bad because we're not willing to play this game. But on the other side, you have the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus. They call themselves the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, but they've been cucking gun owners for a really long time on behalf of their friends in the legislature. And tonight, we're going to show you guys that these people are fleecing gun owners and giving money to the Democrats. They're giving money to the Democrats, the Minnesota DFL. And we're going to prove it to you. Oh, they're going to say, that's a lie. Oh, you're making it up. Blah, 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 blah. No, every single word can be verified when you just look up these statements online that I printed these off of the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board. It's not that hard. folks, to see the proof for yourself, to see it for yourself. So here we have it. Let's just look at this. So in the past, we've laid out many times how in 2014, you can see on their campaign finance expenditures for their PAC. So they have the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, which is their 501c4, and then they have the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee, which is their 501c3. A PAC's job is to basically give money to pro-gun candidates running for office, okay? Already I see a couple of people over here in the comments section who are all upset, and they're all, you're liars. I'm sorry. Maybe you're a donor, or at least were, to the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, but you're about to find out that your money is being given to the Democrat Party of Minnesota. Is that what you gave them money for? You can thrash and yell and scream all you like, but the facts are going to be laid out right here for you. So just keep watching. Just keep watching. So in 2014, we laid out, or at least when we looked at their PAC reports, we laid out right here. And we did other videos on this at the time. They've been pulling this con for a long, long time. We laid out how they were taking thousands and thousands of dollars of this PAC money. Well, they gave pennies. They raised $51,000 in 2014, and they gave a grand total of $1,500 to pro-gun lawmakers who are running for office. $1,500 out of $51,000. Well, when we flipped through the pages here and you got down to the bottom of it all, and here you could see that they gave $13,707.40 to a company called Bright Path LLC. And they gave it for public relations and fundraising services. So they gave almost $14,000 to this company, which we found out, well, Bright Path LLC is owned and operated by Brian Strasser, who is the chairman of the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus. So they weren't giving the money to pro-gun candidates. They gave pennies in comparison to what they brought in. Instead, they were paying it to themselves as fundraising services for their political action committee. And then we laid out that they have state representatives who are on the board of that company, Bright Path LLC. You could see this all on their website. Representative Jim Nash on August 23, 2016 was listed on their website as a board member. So that's very interesting. You have a business, a company that's taking large amounts of money from a political action committee, and you have sitting lawmakers on the board? I don't know about that. Has this representative been getting great, big, fat kickbacks from this political action committee? No one will ever know. The last time we talked about that, well, they went right on their website and they very quickly removed Representative Jim Nash's face off of their website because that didn't look good. Oh, no, no, no. That's not good. Isaac Phil, we're going to talk about that. He wants to know where we can go to see all this. I'll have to drop a link, but it's all on the Campaign Finance and Disclosure Board website, okay? And then you'll go to the you know what? I'll have to look at exactly what they call that section. I'll look it up yet, but it's like data, reports and data, I think is the tab that you look at. So you go onto the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board and Disclosure Board website, go to the reports and data, look up the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus and the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee, and you can pull all of their reports. These are reports that they are required to make every year on behalf of their PAC. And so this is information that they gave to the Minnesota Campaign Finance and Disclosure Board coming up here. So that's what we laid out a short while ago, is large amounts of money being paid out to a company that's owned by the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus chairman, Brian Strasser, okay? let's just fast forward here for a couple of minutes. Let's just fast forward. My wife makes the best coffee. I love you, babe. Thank you. And so meanwhile, as we laid out during the 2016 election season, the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee, again, run by Rob Dorr and Brian Strasser, they were endorsing anti-gun Democrats, Democrat senators who voted against constitutional carry. You can see it right here. So here's their 2016 Minnesota Senate, and it's actually right on their website. They're bragging about this, the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee. And here you have their endorsements for 2016, Rod Skoy, Senate District 2, DFL, endorsed. Rod Skoy voted against constitutional carry. He was an anti-gun Democrat lawmaker, and he got the endorsement from the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus during the 2016 elections after he voted against our gun rights. Well, you flip the page over here, and again, you can go on their website and you can look at this right now. Here you have it. Senate District 17, Lyle Coonan, DFL, endorsed. Lyle Coonan also voted against constitutional carry on the Senate floor. I believe it was on April 23, 2015. Okay. And so we knew that these guys were total anti-gun scams, right? These politicians and this organization. So during the 2016 election season, Minnesota Gun Rights, well, with your help, with your donations, with your contributions and your firepower, well, we went after both of these Democrat lawmakers. We exposed them as anti-gun Democrat far-left losers. Well, and they lost their seats. They both got kicked out of office by gun owners. But the entire time we were doing that, the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus was attacking us online. They were saying Minnesota Gun Rights is a bunch of liars and con artists. These are pro-gun Democrats. These guys are not anti-gun, when they very, very clearly were. They very clearly were. And in fact, if those Democrats, which we exposed at election time, if they had not lost their seats, we would have a Democrat Senate right now. If the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus had their way, the Democrats would have the House, the Senate, and the governor right now. Okay? So this is what they were talking about this last time around. So now let's roll into 2018. This is unbelievable. Okay? Here we have it. 2018, Campaign Finance and Disclosure Board. Again, just go on the Campaign Finance and Public Disclosure Board. Reports of receipt and expenditures for political committee or political fund. Okay? Committee name, Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee. Okay? And let's just flip into this. So you all remember 2018. We lost like 18 members of the Minnesota House, right? Republican caucus. Okay, the Democrats slaughtered the Republicans during the 2018 election season. So this 2018 report is going to be where their money from their PAC went to during the 2018 elections. All right. So this is all centered around the 2018 election season. So total contributions received $13,980. So already you can see they're at a massive dip compared to last time around, like the 2014 example, right? So I think gun owners are really waking up to this fact. And again, the reason we're talking about this is because this organization is pretending to be a solid pro-gun, you can trust us. I mean, you go on their website and it's like Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, Minnesota Gun Owners Voice at the Capitol. Dear God, help us if you guys are the voice of gun owners at the Capitol, because you're screwing gun owners 18 ways from Sunday. And like I said at the beginning of this video, we're coming into an absolute nightmare situation to stop gun control from passing here in Minnesota. We have enough enough radical leftists, enough rhinos, and enough Democrats trying to take our gun rights away. We don't need so-called pro-gun organizations doing the same. We don't need that. So that's why we're talking about this, because they're conning gun owners. And it's very much hurting our cause. Very much hurting our cause. And that's why we're talking. Everybody knows that Moms Demand Action is corrupt, rotten, far left, terrible people. Everybody knows that. But a gun owner sees a name like Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus and they go, boy, these must be pro-gunners. I might look into them. And there is the danger. So here we go. So 2018, they raised $13,980 in cash. Would you like to know where the money went? Well, let's just flip through this for a couple of minutes here. We'll just flip a couple pages. Well, they spent all kinds of money on office rent and this and that. But you get down to it. And so again, a political action committee's job is to give money to pro-gun candidates running for office, right? They do direct advocacy. They say they do, big programs and they say, go out and vote for this guy or support that guy, right? They give money to these campaigns. That's a legal way to do it. That's how this works. And so would you like to know, in 2018, and these guys are claiming to be staunch, tremendous supporters of the Second Amendment. They are the voice of Minnesota gun owners at the Minnesota State Capitol building. When the whole world was on fire in Minnesota, would you like to know how much of that $14,000 they gave to pro-gun candidates? Would you like to know? Well, you can see it here for yourself. Well, here's one right here for you. So we have Peggy Bennett, House District 27A, was given $235 from the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee. And here we have, well, here's at least one good guy. Representative Jeremy Munson, House District 23B, was given $250. Oh, were you expecting me to read more? Because there aren't any more. There aren't any more. They raised $14,000 and they gave $485 to pro-gun candidates running for office. $485. But would you like to know where a bigger contribution went to? Well, you can see it right here. You can see it right here. In 2018, when the Democrats were slaughtering the Republican Party in all those House districts, in 2018, read it right there. Affected committee, Minnesota DFL State Central Committee. And they gave $500 to the largest Democrat fundraiser of the year. Oh, but Ben, you must be lying. Ben, these people are wonderful. Ben, MGR is a con. No, read it. Read it. Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee, Affected Committee, Minnesota DFL State Central Committee. They gave $500 from their PAC. $500 they gave to the Democrat Party during the 2018 election season. $500. That's more than they gave to pro-gun candidates running for office. That's more than they gave the paltry $485 that they gave to those pro-gun candidates during the 2018 election season when the Democrats are slaughtering Republicans all over the state. This gun rights organization is giving them $500. If you've ever donated to the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus or the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee, is that what you gave them money for? Is that what you wanted your donor dollars to go for? During the 2016 election season, they're endorsing radical anti-gun Democrats, Rod Skoy and Lyle Kunin. Again, you can look this up on their website. During the 2018 election season, they gave more money to the Democrat Party than they gave to pro-gun lawmakers or candidates running for office. Melissa says, where did you get this info? Just go on the Minnesota, oh, you know what? I'll just pull up the link myself. How about we do that? We'll do Minnesota Campaign Finance and Disclosure Board. We'll pull it up right here. Reports and data. Let's see, committees and funds. Let me just enter this in here. Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee. We're going to pull this up right here. It's all on the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board. Let's make sure I got the right link here. I'll put it in the comment section yet. Teresa says, guess you need to do your homework. You're dang right. You're dang right. Absolutely. Here's the link, guys. You can punch, man, they make these websites as confusing as they can possibly be. I'll find it. I'll put it in the comments section yet. This is all public reports. These are all reports that the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus had to put in to the state. So when we're done here, in the description of this video, I will put a link to the reports and data, and you can see it for yourself. Rachel Vang says, and they say you're scamming people. Yeah, of course they do. Because these organizations and these politicians exist to protect themselves. And the real scam, and my father has said this to me more times than I can count. I grew up hearing this. He looked at me and he said, son, if somebody is accusing you of something that you did not do, look at them, because they're very likely doing the very thing they are accusing you of. And I never forgot that. I never forgot that. And so when these accusations start coming from politicians and loser organizations like the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, so we're not scamming anybody. All of our numbers can be seen on GuideStar or on our website. Go to minnesotagunrights.org. And you can see under the About section, we're going to talk about that actually. And you can pull open our 990 reports and you can read where all of our money goes to, all the money that you give to us. We're very proud of it because we are kicking butt with your contributions. And everything that we do is beautiful, above board. It's right and it's true. No, the people who are conning gun owners are the establishment organizations, and we're proving it right here on paper right now. These are their reports. I didn't draw this. I didn't draw it. Minnesota DFL State Central Committee, $500. $500 in 2018. And so they were very late getting these reports out. They were slapped with a $7,000 fine by the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board. The board did an investigation into their organization because the way they were handling money was so shady, and they were found to be radically out of compliance, and that they were sending money in between organizations that wasn't allowed. They weren't filing their reports for years at a time, and they were slapped with like a $7,500 fine for violating state code. Wait, you mean your lawmaker didn't tell you that? The politicians didn't tell you that was happening? No, they just attack Minnesota gun rights because we put the pressure on them because we will not abide by their gun control laws. We will not sign off on their crap. Ain't going to happen. But here at the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, here at the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee, they'll do just about anything. Just about anything. So 2019, most recent reports. Not too much to see on here, but I'll just point something out here. Let me just, can I circle this? Let me circle this here. So they have, hold on, I didn't circle these. So total of non-itemized money that they raised during the 2019 season for their political action committee is $1,281, $1,281. Must have been a rough year. Must have been a rough year. Well, so they raised $1,281 in cash or online. Not very much at all. But you flip the page and you see all this. Look at that. Look at all those credit card transaction fees. Credit card processing fee, credit card processing fee, credit card processing fee. $393.05. Well, that's kind of odd. If you only raised $1,280 some odd bucks, why on earth? Oh my God. You flip the page. Let's look at this. You have it again. All those credit card processing fees. All those processing fees. Good gosh. I mean, we look at this. It's another $1,157.70 for a grand total of $1,550 worth of credit card processing fees. Can somebody, I mean, I've never been accused of being the math guy, much better with words than I am with numbers, but I'm just curious, how in the hell do you get $1,550 worth of credit card processing fees off of $1,280 worth of donations? Because last I looked, the credit card processing fees charge like 0.045%. Okay. How do you get $1,550 worth of credit card processing fees off of $1,280, like $1,287 or whatever it was in donations? I mean, is this adding up for anybody? No. That's because this entire thing has been a shell organization and a con from the get-go. And you can sit there, whoever the heck you are, and say, that's not true. That guy's lying, blah, 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 blah. You can say that all you want, but the numbers are right here. You can look them up on the Minnesota Campaign Finance and Disclosure Board. It's not too difficult. It's not too hard, but it's true. It's true. And you know what else I found that was conveniently missing from all of the recent reports? Because again, when you look at their 2014 reports, you see all of this money being funneled again into BrightPath LLC. And you can look at the vendor thing again. You can see all this money being funneled into BrightPath LLC, which is Brian Strasser's personal company, and it's all for fundraising services. Well, that got exposed, and now I'm confused. There's nothing in the 2018 reports. I don't think there's anything in the 2017. Maybe there's something in the 2017 reports. There's nothing in the 2018 reports. There's nothing in the 2019 reports. Did you guys just stop paying yourselves through your little company over there? Or did you just switch around it a little bit? Once it got so plainly obvious that you guys were funneling all of this money into your private company, did you just stop reporting that? Did you just stop doing that, or did you find another way to funnel that coin? I don't know, guys. Again, I'm gonna get that link. I should have had the link to begin with. I'll put the link on top here. If I know there's some people watching who are pretty good at this stuff, if you can pull up this link for me so I don't have to make everybody sit here and watch me click over on this side. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to send it to me if you got it. But otherwise, I'll put the link up when we're done here. Okay, I promise. I'll put it on top of the video. So let's just move on here for a minute. Again, people they say all these things about Minnesota gun rights. Nothing's true. I mean, it's all verifiably false. Isaac Phil says, who did he donate to again? I'm scrolling through everything and can't find it. Are you talking about their contribution, their $500 donation to the Minnesota Democrat Party? Was it this one you were looking for? Was it this one? I'll put the link up. I swear I'll put the link up. But it's going to take me a couple of minutes to look for it because it's confusing. That whole page is meant to be difficult to navigate, but that's okay. So again, Minnesota Gun Rights, we're a 501c4. We are not a PAC. We don't do endorsements. We don't do any of this crap because politicians go bad. And so what we do is we have to file 990s with the IRS, and we're the best at doing that. We're so good at doing that. And so if you want to look at where the contributions go that are entrusted to us by you guys, all you have to do is go on a website. Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate it. One of my very good friends just put the link in the comments section. Let me just pull it up. Oh, you beautiful person. All right, hold on, guys. Here's the link. Click on the reports and data tab is what I'm told here. So we're going to put this right here. Click on the reports and data tab. I just dropped the link in there. Dropped into the watch party as well. Click on the reports and data tab, and you can see everything that I am talking about right now on this video. I appreciate that to my very good friend. He's such a good person. Again, going back, so if you want to see where our contributions go, you can go to the Minnesota Gun Rights website, go to the About Us section, and there are all of our reports to date. And we're so proud of it. We're so proud of you guys and just the phenomenal things that we have been able to do with your money to beat on these politicians. It's been a phenomenal 5 or 6 or 7 years, whatever it's been now. Time runs together. But every penny that we've gotten from gun owners is listed right there. You can see under the consulting section what I get paid and things like that. Not enough. But hey, I love this. I love our work. I love fighting for gun owners. So that is Minnesota Gun Rights. We're a 501c4, and every 501c4 is required to file 990s with the IRS. Okay. And if, let me just pull this up right here. And so again, if you have done so, that will pop up on a website called GuideStar. GuideStar is a place where you can punch in your information in the group's name, and GuideStar will produce, their information and the 990s so that you can see where the money is going on whatever organization. You can look up, anyone you can think of, okay? And so if you go to GuideStar and type in Minnesota Gun Rights, actually, legally, we're called Minnesota Firearms Association. It's one of those legal stupid things. But if you type in the Minnesota Firearms Association, which is Minnesota Gun Rights, you can see all of our 990s listed on there, okay? So, again, feel free to do so. Feel free to do so. You know what's not on there? You know what's not on there? You see, the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, everything we've been talking about here is from their PAC. Is from the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee, right? And so they have to file these reports with the Campaign Finance and Public Disclosure Board. But their 501c4, the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, well, they're required to file 990s with the IRS to let folks know where the money is going. Oh, I'll just grab this. Here's the profile. We'll drop this in the comment section. There's a link to the GuideStar, and here's a link to GuideStar. And if you open that, here you have the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus profile, if you will, on GuideStar. I hope you can all see that. And if you look, there are no 990s. There are no 990s. There's absolutely no record of where the money is going. And they call us a scam? They call us liars and thieves? This is the biggest freaking scam going on in St. Paul. And the politicians all know it. The politicians all know it. But the point of the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, the point of Rob Dorr and Brian Strasser, they call him Lazy Rob and Fester, the point of these guys being there is to protect the politicians. And so the politicians protect them. And you know who gets totally screwed? You. Gun owners get screwed. So when you look at their PAC reports, you see they're giving more money to the Democrats than they are to pro-gun candidates. When you look at their endorsements on their website, you're seeing endorsements for anti-gun Democrat people like Rod Skoy and Lyle Kunin. They also endorsed Lyon Scott Jensen, the Republican who sponsored universal background checks. When he was exposed for that, they refused to rescind their endorsement. Do you understand now? Do you understand? There are no 990s to look at. The Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus has existed for at least 5 years. There is no way for you to look at where the money is going. Again, if you want to see where the money goes for Minnesota gun rights, it's all on our website. It's all on GuideStar. You can look it up anytime you please. If you have questions, we're happy to answer them. Again, we're extremely proud. We have raised so much money over the last 5 years from gun owners, and we have put it to work beating the hell out of these politicians. We've done radio ads all across the state, direct mail by the tens and tens of thousands, sponsored posts online, sponsored social media, beating on these people, door-to-door lit drops, the whole gambit. We have had massive success thanks to your generosity. If you are a member of Minnesota Gun Rights, you guys have done amazing work. And we're not going to hang our heads and go, yeah, we raise money. Of course we raise money, and we use it beautifully to defend your gun rights, and I love you for it. But these people here, the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus and the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee, both of which are run by Brian Strasser and Rob Dorr, Lazy Rob, that's what they call him, Lazy Rob. It's a giant front for the politicians in St. Paul. They exist for one purpose: to protect and enrich themselves and the politicians who have their hands on the levers of power in St. Paul. And nobody can prove otherwise, because all of their numbers, the ones that we can actually see, all of their numbers show them either funneling money to Bright Path LLC, which has lawmakers on the board, which, I mean, I'm not a legal guru, but I'm really curious if that's okay. Are these politicians getting money on the down low from this organization? Who knows? It's numbers we can't see. But you look at the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, they're C4, and there's no 990s to be seen. There's no 990s. So you tell me what's happening here. You tell me. We're facing the biggest gun rights battle of our history. We're gearing up for a major fight. We're about to spend big money. We're going to spend this legislative session fighting for our Second Amendment rights and putting pressure on lawmakers. Big money. The Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee, if you're giving money to those guys, it's going to Democrats, rhinos, and their own greedy pockets. And it's all true. It's all true. The reason politicians attack Minnesota gun rights is because we're not willing to compromise on our beliefs, on our rights, on your rights. They have asked us to do so. Paul Kazelka asked me to my face, please lay off of these anti-gunners. They've got to introduce and push gun control in order to win. In order to win their election season, they've got to do this. Otherwise, so you guys need to back off. Will you please back off of these politicians? They're talking about Paul Anderson and Lyon Scott Jensen. Those are the lawmakers. And we said, no. Said, you need to do a better job, Senator, at protecting our gun rights. You need to stand up for gun owners. Don't sit here and ask the members of Minnesota Gun Rights to give you a free pass to pass gun control in order to protect your butts at election season. And that is why they hate us. And that's why they hate us. And that's why they protect the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, because their job is to protect these politicians. It's as simple as that. The information is all right there. You can see it for yourself. You can see it for yourself. Alan Ewing says, does Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus have a different legal name? No. Again, the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus is their 501c4. That, if you're looking for those numbers, which don't exist, you have to go on guidestar.com, and I put the links in the comments section. If you're looking for these numbers, the only numbers that we actually can get our hands on, that is for the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee. Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee. And so those numbers, those forms, if that's what you're looking for, Alan, well, we put a link in the comments section here, but that is on the Minnesota Campaign Finance and Public Disclosure Board. Okay? This can all be seen. This can all be seen. If you want to know about their endorsements for anti-gun Democrats, all you have to do is go to their website. They don't even hide it. There's a great big fat con going on in Minnesota, and it ain't Minnesota Gun Rights. It ain't us. No. Our membership, this organization is the only organization in St. Paul that's fighting tooth and nail to stop gun control from passing. And Lazy Rob can do his videos all he wants and try to convince everybody that he's up at the Capitol, just standing stalwartly on behalf of Second Amendment supporters. You can do that all you like, Rob, but the numbers don't add up. The numbers don't add up. You're protecting bad politicians. You're protecting bad politicians. And what's more, your numbers are the ones that nobody can see. So, folks, if you know somebody who's a member or a supporter of the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, feel free to share this video with them. Feel free to share this video. Like I said, we have enough stacked against us in Minnesota. We don't need gun owners sidelined by con artist organizations whose job it is to protect politicians from the members of Minnesota Gun Rights. Okay? We don't need that. We don't need gun owners going, well, at least we got the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus. They say that they're the voice of gun owners in the Minnesota State Capitol. So good thing they're here to protect us. No, we don't need anybody doing that. We need every gun owner possible in the fight to stop gun control. We need every gun owner possible getting nasty with their lawmakers in St. Paul. That's the only way we win. That's the only way gun owners win. And that's why our membership sent 120,000 emails into St. Paul opposing gun control during the 2019 session. That's how gun control got stopped. Not because lazy Rob was spending 12 hours a day on his knees in the state capitol. And not because they were giving money to the Democrat Party of Minnesota. Because that's what they're freaking doing here. I'll just show it again. 2018, major fight. Biggest fight we've ever faced was in 2018, trying to stop House File 3022, Linda Slocum's gun control bill. And what were they doing? Well, they were giving $500 to the Minnesota DFL State Central Committee. $500 given to the Democrat Party. That's more money than they gave to any, pro-gun candidate running for office. More than the two of them combined. So they raised all this money in 2013, or in 2018 rather. They raised, how much was that total? In cash, looks like they raised $13,980. And, they gave a grand total of $480 to pro-gun candidates, and they gave $500 to the Democrats. You think that's pro-gun? You think that's some great big defense? Is that okay with you? I don't know what else to say. Every word of this is true. All of this came off of either their website or the Minnesota Campaign Finance and Disclosure Board website. And now you go on to GuideStar. You look it up. Ruling year, Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus. And it says right here, this organization is required to file an IRS Form 990N. And, where that says that by the Minnesota Firearms Association, which is our legal name, where it says that, it shows there's a button there that says Show 990 Forms. And you can click on those forms and you can read where the money has gone to, right? It's beautiful. But you go and look up the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus online and you look it up and there's no button there. There are no 990 forms to be seen. So when politicians are running around telling you, Minnesota Gun Rights, they're not even a nonprofit. They're not even this. They're not even that. Yes, we are. Our nonprofit status is 100% intact. It's beautiful. We're a nonprofit with the IRS. We're a nonprofit with the state of Minnesota. Our paperwork is perfect. It's flawless. It's beautiful. And they send around this attack article. And that's what it was. A hit piece. They put a hit piece out on Minnesota Gun Rights last year just so they can send it around and try to lie to everybody. Liars. These politicians are liars. These groups are liars. The scam is all right here in black and white, folks. You've seen it for yourself. Ryan Chesney says, looks to me like we don't have many, friends at all. He says, we need to get these politicians who want gun control out of office. But that being said, who should we be supporting? Seems like they're all shady as shit. We need real patriot politicians. Well, it all comes down to the lawmaker. Are they willing to fill out the Minnesota Gun Rights Candidate Survey? Are they willing to go to the mat for gun owners? Or are they just another con? Are they just another scam? And that's the facts of the whole matter, guys, is that's how politics in St. Paul works. Either you go along with their charade, either you play by their rules, and by the way, their rules mean you get screwed. Republicans do it. Democrats do it. Those organizations, the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus and the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee, they do it. Moms Demand Action does it. And the media does it. They're all screwing the voters, lying to the voters, playing the game in St. Paul. And if you don't, as we have chosen not to, We will not compromise. We won't do it. You can attack and attack and attack us all you like. You can run your smear campaign against Minnesota gun rights all you like. You can accuse us of this and accuse us of that all you like, but you got nothing that sticks because we're a beautiful organization that fights like hell for our gun rights, for our freedom, for our membership, for the future of our state and our children. We fight. These people, they fight only for themselves. They fight only for their own pocketbooks. They fight only for the politicians in St. Paul. They fight to advance their own political careers and agendas. They give money to the Democrats. They endorse anti-gun lawmakers who vote against our gun rights. Apparently, they don't file 990 forms with the IRS. They get fined by the Minnesota Campaign Finance Board over $7,000 because they were breaking state code with the way they were handling their finances. But we're the con artists. Yes, it's us. No. The proof is all there. The links are in the comments section. You can see it for yourself. If you're sick and tired of the bullshit, join Minnesota Gun Rights. Join this organization because we never, ever betray gun owners. We never do. We never, ever do. And we're massive. We're huge. We have thousands and tens of thousands of members and supporters all across the state. And the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, well, their PAC couldn't raise more than $1,200 last year. $1,200. Clearly, gun owners are figuring this out too. Clearly. But for those sorry souls who still don't know the truth, if you're giving money to the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus, if you're giving money to the Minnesota Gun Owners PAC, it's going to Democrats. It's going to rhinos. It's going in their pockets. And not a damn thing's being done for you. Not a thing. Not a thing. The fight for our rights kicks into high gear very shortly. Very shortly. We have a major fight on our hands. We are gearing up for absolute political war. We know that the attacks are going to come at us. The politicians are going to attack us on their social media pages. We know that the media is going to run hit pieces on us. We know exactly what's going to happen here. It's what happened last year. But we are prepared to shoulder this war with your help, with your support. We've been doing it for years. We are not willing to back down now in the face of our enemies. Not with our freedom on the line. Not with our freedom on the line. Stand with us, guys. Stand with us. Fight with us. Go to joinmgr.com. Go to donate2mgr.com if you want to make a contribution. We can use your help. We could use your help because the fight is here very, very soon. Chris Harden says, nice twist on the spelling of Bright Path. Their homepage is rather interesting. Well, the reason they spelled Bright Path, B-R-Y-G-H-T, is because Brian Strasser, well, the name Brian is spelled B-R-Y-A-N. So he thought that was a cute little twist on his name, B-R-Y-G-H-T. I'm quite certain that's what it was. Bright Path LLC, the company that he owns and funnels all of that money to, can all be seen right there. So yeah, that's their cute little twist on their name. But you know what? Gun owners learned a lot of truth tonight. I know a lot of you knew this. There's a lot of people watching this who've heard some of this before. But we just have a major problem. We got a big freaking fight on our hands. We got a big issue with politicians attacking our rights. And we can't have fake con artists, shams like the Minnesota Gun Owners Caucus and the Minnesota Gun Owners Political Action Committee run by Fester and Lazy Rob. We can't have these people muddying up the waters and blurring the lines of who is a political enemy and who is not. Mark says, Ben, unleash the hounds. That's you guys, baby. That's you. We're going to be at the Capitol when session kicks off, throwing down with lawmakers. It's going to be a war. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be a lot of fun to fight. It's going to be a hell of a fight too. We're not guaranteed success. All we can do is fight with everything we've got, and we're going to do so. We're going to do so. So do me a favor, if you would, please share this video with everybody you know. Share this video and make sure everybody knows that these organizations are conning gun owners. And people like Brian Strasser, I know a lot of people who know him, and they say Brian is corrupt, a degenerate, soulless liberal. I mean, Brian Strasser, he says he's pro-gun. He's all about open borders. They're all pro-abortion. They're all pro-choice. Brian Strasser, in every way, is a far-left liberal. A far-left liberal who stands there and says, I'm pro-gun. I'm fighting for civil rights. Nah. No. You are degenerate. You're soulless liberal. You are corrupt in your soul. In your soul. Because only corrupt people pull this kind of con on gun owners. Only corrupt people support a radical leftist agenda and ideology. And that is Brian Strasser. Always has been. Always has been. Arm yourselves with the facts, my friends. That's what we can do. When we know the truth, when we know who our political enemies are and who our friends are. Our friends are very few. Our friends are very few. The members of Minnesota Gun Rights are your friends. We have very few friends otherwise, and those who claim to be clearly are not. For those of you just signing on, please go back, watch this video. We very quickly and succinctly go through all of the information that we can find and show how they've totally been conning, scamming, and lying to gun owners for years. For years. Michelle says Brian Strasser is a dirtbag. Yeah, Michelle would know. Michelle would know. All right, guys, that's what I've got for right now. I appreciate your help. I appreciate your support. We got a major fight coming. We're going to be fighting like hell for you and with you. And I thank you for your patriotism, for loving your country, for loving your state, for being willing to stand up and say, you know what? I know it's uncomfortable. I know it can make you feel a little funny inside, right? Nobody likes to feel awkward. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes that. But the members of Minnesota Gun Rights have shown time and time and time again that you are willing to stand, be seen, and fight for your gun rights, for your freedom, against all parties, against the media, against fake groups who pretend to love freedom. And that, guys, is what makes you just the best fighters that Minnesota ever saw. And if our gun rights are saved this session, if gun control is shut down, if our Second Amendment survives another wave of attacks here, it'll be because the members of Minnesota Gun Rights were not willing to get on their knees for politicians and for government and allow our freedoms to be stripped away. That is what will save the day. And people like Brian Strasser and Lazy Rob will never be successful at advancing their ridiculous, self-serving, soulless, and corrupt agenda. I love you. Thank you, guys. I'm going to sign off for right now. Have a good night. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. God bless you. Bye.